Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and today I want to make a quick video about the last couple races that I had in the E63S. But before I get into the video, guys, first thing, shout out to my whole Boost in Motion family. Much love, thank you guys for your support. I know you guys have already hit the like button, and if you're new to the Boost in Motion channel, well, you've been probably catching the last couple videos. I'm a Nissan Infiniti enthusiast, car enthusiast, and also Mercedes E63S owner, formerly known as a C63S owner. Anyways, let's jump into the video. So, reason why I'm making this video is, if you didn't watch the last two videos, just go check on my channel. I pretty much took the E63S out to a scramble event, a road race event, and I ran into some issues. So I ran up against an M8 competition, unknown mods, and the car went into limp mode. Wasn't working at all, right? So, end up scanning the car, and I got a P0087 code, which means low fuel pressure, high whatever fuel pump, which is a generic code, right? And that's when the windfall started. You're gonna see some more videos coming out later this week, because I also go back to scramble event, and I went to a dig race event that they did too. So we watch out for that video coming up soon anyways. So knowing that this issue happened, I like to figure things out, and because I haven't had this car long enough in my possession, I haven't learned enough about this car. Anybody knows Boost, whenever I get a car, I'm the guy who teaches you about the car, every problem, every common issue, and if I can solve it on my own, I will do that, or I'll let you guys know of it. Cool. So I looked it up, and it seems like it's not a common problem for the Mercedes E63S, but for the Mercedes community, a P0087 code is actually quite common. And it definitely deals with the car picking up that the fuel pressure is too low for whatever reason that may be. Also, it may go with a corresponding a misfire code. I'm not getting that, and I never got any of those codes associated with that. So knowing that is the case, right? Give me a second, guys. I want to get hit. Yeah, knowing that that's the case, how am I going to solve this issue and deal with it? Right now, I drive the car, no issues. I can romp on the car, I can beat on the car, whatever. This issue only happens unless I am at full, wide open throttle, and the car is really going through gears. I'm not talking about 20 miles an hour, quick, spirited run. I'm talking about I'm on the highway, and I drop a gear, and I go. And I'm going full steam, and then it would possibly do that. So what I've been continuing to look up, and what I realized is it can be associated with plenty of different things. From my prior knowledge of other cars I've owned, you have high pressure fuel pumps. Usually high pressure fuel pumps usually are driven by cams, or manual by cams. They do have a sensor that does connect, that the car does regulate it and see what's going on and everything like that. But I said it can't be that, because if that was it wouldn't be an intermediate. It would be more of an issue that happens all of the time. You got to understand, I think, how electronics works. If something goes bad, it's bad. If I don't have good fuel pressure, I would never have good fuel pressure. So I can romp in it right now, right? And I even just did that, and the car quickly downshifted and did what it's supposed to do, and I won't have an issue. So it definitely delivers the fuel pressure. So I said it wasn't. I don't think it's that. Next thing I continue to look into is the low pressure fuel pump, the one in the tank. Now, once again, if it was an issue, if there's a clog or maybe a fault with it, at some point it will fully fail. But during regular driving, it still doesn't do this, even with spirited driving. So once again, I can't say it's the low pressure fuel pump. So as it continued to go, I'm sitting there thinking, all right, there's only a couple of other contributors here, right? It's either maybe a clog in the lines, which would, if there was a clog, it would be there all the time. So I'm like, it's not that. And there's also a fuel pressure sensor. Now, I don't know how these cars are with their fuel pressure sensors, and there's a certain value that it may be between. So that could be a culprit for why I may be having this fuel pressure issue. Maybe it's reading it wrong, but then once again, the fuel pressure sensor is reading that the fuel pressure is low, which means that the fuel pressure sensor is technically working, right? Unless the issue kept coming up. So I was like, you know what? It can't be that either. So I kept on looking and reading, and I had to go into the W212 AMGs and look more into theirs. And what I found was something pretty unique, right? That it may be dealing with voltage, how much voltage the car may be getting. And one thing I realized with my car is, if I put it on auxiliary mode for not even that long, maybe 30 seconds, immediately I get the battery light. Like the voltage goes too low. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what if, just what if, the battery is going bad? Let me quickly explain. From what the guy was, the people saying in the forums was, with this car, he was talking about the W212, but he also was talking about W213. And the guy that had the issue, similar issue was me. What he did was he did a data log and a freeze trace scan, and he realized that when you're doing a full pull in this car, that the battery voltage drops and amperage drops substantially on a pull, which means that the car is necessarily running on battery power rather than the alternator power, thus the car would have reduced voltage to certain parts, ECU, anything that uses volts. Listen, if you have less voltage going to the low pressure fuel pump, the low pressure fuel pump can't deliver enough fuel, hit enough amount of PSI for the high pressure fuel pump line. Thus, you will get the cold. Now, one way to mitigate this issue is to change and put in possibly a new battery, right? Of course, I need a proper diagnosis. This is me just reading forums, but this is how it is, man. I've been born and raised in Nissan Infinitis, and you have to diagnose things by thought and then actually go out there. Rather than me going by high pressure fuel pumps, low pressure fuel pumps, fuel sensors, no. Think about it. This car's a 2019. I'm in 2023. This is probably the original battery. Possibly, quite possibly, the battery may be going bad. But that doesn't mitigate the problem that may come up in the future. I don't know why Mercedes may design this car where on full wide open throttles, such as that it may switch over to just battery power doing the pulls, which would be super weird, or thus it reduces the amount of power that the alternator may deliver. It threw me off. So I'm going to continue looking more and more into it, right, guys? I'm letting you know that. But as of right now, if I drive the car, it's fine. I have no issues, no problems, even with the motor being blown in the past, the transmission messing up. It's doing its thing. But knowing that if I wanted to romp on it, that the car may go into limp mode, and I have to now clear the code and turn the car back on and everything will be fine, is annoying. And I'm not going to have a 600 horsepower car that can't deliver. What's the point of having that? I mean, I'm not using the power all the time. I could use it majority of the time like this. But even then, it's a problem that I know exists. And going out there to that event and losing like that on video to other cars that I probably could have beaten, I could have probably definitely beat the M8. When I raced the 1,000 horsepower E63S, of course I wasn't going to win. And when I ran the Supra, I didn't have any of those issues. With those two issues, it didn't exist, but with the other two, it did. So you'll learn more that the problem actually pops up in a future video. But knowing what I know now, is now for me to look into more of diagnosing this problem and looking more into it and see how I cannot have it pop up ever again. Some of you guys are going to say, take it to Mercedes, let them figure out. Listen, I would have to take it to Mercedes with it having the problem. The car doesn't have the problem right now. It doesn't. It's perfectly fine. I can clear the car, turn the car back off, turn back on, and it will be gone. That's how weird of an issue it is. It only happens if I'm doing 60 to 130s. Think about that. How often am I going to be doing that? That means I would have to say, hey, let's do a 60 to 130 to the Mercedes place, drive in there with the check engine light, and be like, all right, figure this out. And they start the car up and they start it down. They're like, wait, it seemed like it fixed itself. And I'm going to have to tell them to change all the pumps, change all this other nonsense, just so they could try to get to the problem. And they're going to fix it, and they're going to be like, the car drives okay. Then I'm going to go and do a pull outside, boom, check engine light again. You guys need to figure it out. So, yes, your boy Boost has another issue that he's dealing with. And you guys don't already know, I have a lemon law case that I'm starting with this car. Let's see how that turns out. But, yo, it is what it is. And some of y'all want me to get rid of the car. I get it. But I really do enjoy the car as much as y'all would want to compare, like, you know, the different cars I've had to this. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This is one of the best cars I've ever owned, and I do like the car a lot. The creature comforts is the E63S, man. The car has a lot of standard tech and a lot of stuff that majority of my other cars didn't have, especially Infiniti. So I learned to appreciate that. And even though it may get a check engine light and all that, a lot of the problems that my car ran into were not its fault. The motor didn't blow because the motor was weak. The transmission didn't blow because the transmission was weak. This is all because of everyone else's F up on this car. In this case, I don't know what this is. So hopefully we'll try to figure it out really soon, because your boy Boost still wants to continue to have fun with his car. So outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you for always showing love to your boy Boost. Much love. I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.